There are seasons in life when the wind never stops blowing, no matter where we turn. It seems something is being taken away, a job, a relationship, the peace of an ordinary day. We look for shelter in distractions. We tell ourselves, be strong, push through. But inside, something wears thin, and the question rises, like dawn through mist, how do I endure without breaking? In Buddhism, resilience is not about pushing harder. It is not about stiffening against the storm. It is about bending with wisdom, enduring with softness, and returning again and again to something deeper than fear. This is not the resilience the world talks about. This is a quiet kind, grown not from resistance, but from understanding. Let us walk slowly now into this truth, not to escape our pain, but to see it clearly enough to walk through it with grace. The storm will pass, as all storms do, but what remains when the wind finally stills is what you chose to nurture. In its midst, may you find that quiet strength that bends but never breaks. When we speak of resilience, we often picture a soldier in battle, a climber scaling impossible heights, or someone gritting their teeth through pain. This image of resilience, though inspiring, is narrow, teaches us to fight, but not to heal. It glorifies endurance at the cost of softness, surrender, and true understanding. The Buddha taught a different way, not resistance, but acceptance, not hardening, but softening, not against the storm, but within it. Imagine bamboo in strong winds. It bends completely, yet never breaks. The strength lies in its flexibility, its power in its ability to yield. This is the resilience we must cultivate, not armor against life, but openness to it, with all its joys and all its pains. Close your eyes now, breathe into your heart, and ask yourself, where am I resisting when I might soften? Where am I fighting when I might accept? True resilience isn't measured by what we overcome, but by how we transform, not by what we withstand, but by how we grow. May you find this gentle strength within yourself and discover that what makes you unbreakable is your willingness to bend. In the ancient kingdom of Qianzi, there lived a monk named Sona. He was once a wealthy merchant's son, known for his sharp mind and unshakable ambition. After losing his family to illness and fortune to fire, Sona abandoned worldly life and joined the monastic path under the guidance of the Buddha himself. But Sona was not like the other monks. He pushed himself relentlessly. He meditated for long hours without rest, fasted for days at a time, and even walked barefoot across sharp gravel to train his body and mind. Still, peace eluded him. One day, his feet bled so badly from his walking meditation that he collapsed near the edge of the monastery grounds. A fellow monk found him and informed the Buddha, who came to visit Sona that evening. "Sona," the Buddha asked gently, "were you not once a skilled musician?" "Yes, blessed one," Sona replied. "I played the veena with great discipline." The Buddha nodded. "Tell me, Sona, if the strings of your instrument were too tight, what would happen? They would snap, Sona said. And if they were too loose, they would not produce any sound. Exactly, the Buddha said, his voice soft like a breeze through trees. And if they are tuned just right, they produce beautiful music. The Buddha smiled. Then why do you strain your practice like a tightened string, expecting wisdom to arise? From pain, Sona lowered his gaze. His heart cracked open in that moment, not from failure, but from understanding. The Buddha continued, the path to awakening is not walked by force, it is walked with balance. Yes, but also kindness. The mind, like the vina, must be tuned to harmony, not tension. That night, Sona let go. He stopped punishing himself and began practicing with a gentler heart. In time, peace came, not because he tried harder, but because he tried wiser. The story lives on in Buddhist tradition as a reminder. Resilience is not born from pressure alone. It is born from wise effort and compassionate balance. In a world that glorifies pushing past limits, the tale of Sona invites us to reflect. Are we tuning our lives too tightly? Is the sound of our effort harsh and breaking? Perhaps it's time to loosen the string, to allow space for breath, and let resilience rise, not from force, but from stillness. At the heart of Buddhist wisdom lies a path that refuses extremes, not indulgence, not self-punishment, not laziness, not obsession. This path is known as the middle way. The Buddha discovered it through his own journey. Born into luxury, he had everything: pleasure, comfort, and security. Yet these did not protect him from the pain of aging, illness, and death. In his search for truth, he turned to the opposite extreme: harsh asceticism. He fasted until his ribs showed. He meditated until his body gave way. He denied himself so thoroughly that he nearly died under a tree by the river, and it was there, on the verge of collapse, that the truth appeared. A memory surfaced of sitting beneath a rose apple tree as a child, watching the world gently pass. In that moment, his mind had been calm, open, and naturally still. It wasn't forced, it was simply present. The Buddha realized that neither pleasure nor punishment led to liberation. What worked was balance. That insight became the core of the middle way, an approach that avoids the traps of extremes, offering a steady, sustainable path through life storms. But balance doesn't mean passivity. It means wise effort, a crucial part of the Noble Eightfold Path, known in Pali as Samma Vayama. Wise effort is different from blind striving. It's not about working harder. It's about working correctly, with awareness and kindness. In Buddhist teaching, wise effort has 4 dimensions: preventing unwholesome states from arising, abandoning unwholesome states that have already arisen, cultivating wholesome states not yet born, maintaining wholesome states already present. This is not a call to hustle. is a gentle invitation to be intentional. Take, for example, the way we deal with failure. Unwise effort says, I must fix this now. I should be stronger. Why am I still struggling? Wise effort says, what led to this suffering? Can I pause and examine it with curiosity instead of judgment? Resilience in Buddhism isn't about suppressing your pain and pretending to be fine. It's about acknowledging the pain, seeing its causes, and taking compassionate steps toward clarity and peace. The teachings also emphasize energy as a factor of enlightenment, but not manic energy. It's the quiet, steady fuel that keeps a flame burning, not a wildfire, but a gentle lamp in the night. To cultivate this kind of resilience, we must ask ourselves, am I practicing self-compassion? As I grow, am I creating conditions for healing or only chasing progress? Is my energy rooted in desperation or clarity? Wise effort is not about pushing through every obstacle with gritted teeth. It's about learning to pause, to breathe, to listen to what your mind and body are telling you, and then moving forward, not with urgency, but with alignment. The middle way reminds us that strength is not the absence of struggle. It is how we hold ourselves during the struggle, softly, mindfully, wisely. In a culture that rewards exhaustion and celebrates busyness, this teaching is revolutionary. You don't have to burn out to prove your worth. You don't have to be perfect to deserve peace. You only need to begin with presence. Resilience, then, is not something to build like a wall. It's something to uncover like a quiet wellspring that has always been there, buried beneath the noise. Today, we live in a world that rarely pauses. Productivity is praised, hustle is glorified, and exhaustion often worn like a badge of honor. We scroll through images of people achieving more, faster, younger. We hear voices, external and internal, that whisper, keep going, don't stop, you're falling behind. This is the new pressure of modern life, relentless comparison, silent burnout, and the hidden shame of struggle. But here's the truth, underneath all the deadlines and digital noise, many of us are quietly breaking. We don't lack strength, we lack space, the very thing Buddhist wisdom insists. We need to rediscover resilience. Consider the average modern professional. Emails flood in at midnight, meetings blur into meals, the phone becomes a fifth limb, buzzing, beeping, needing. Add to that the silent burdens, anxiety, loneliness, identity crises, and the fear that if we pause, we'll lose everything we've worked for. This is where Buddhism offers a radical shift, not by telling us to quit everything, but by showing us a different way to be within it all. The middle way is not just for monks. Is for parents raising children while caring for aging parents. It's for students pulled between grades and expectations. It's for anyone caught in the storm of shoulds and not enoughs. When we apply wise effort today, it might look like turning off notifications to reclaim mental space, pausing before reacting, to a critical email, letting go of perfectionism in a project, and choosing completion over burnout, noticing a spiral of negative thoughts, and gently redirecting with kindness instead of judgment. It might even look like resting, not because you've earned it, but because you're human. The Buddhist teaching of Virya reminds us that energy must be sustained with balance. In a time where so many are running on fumes, that balance isn't just spiritual, it's survival. And then there's compassion, especially for ourselves. We often extend patience to others, but not to our own minds. Yet Buddhist resilience asks us to treat ourselves as we would a dear friend. Would you tell a friend who's struggling to get over it? No, you'd listen, support, and encourage them gently. Modern resilience isn't loud. Doesn't always mean rising early, conquering goals, or bouncing back overnight. It often means choosing not to give up, even when progress is slow. It means showing up to your meditation cushion, or your therapy appointment, or even just your breath, again and again. With gentleness, technology may have changed the world, but the human heart hasn't changed. As much as we think, it still longs for peace, belonging, and meaning. That's why Buddhist wisdom feels timeless. It doesn't reject the modern world. It teaches us how to stay awake within it, to hold our pain with presence, to carry our exhaustion with care, and to remember we are not machines. We are living, breathing, changing beings, and resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being bendable, without snapping, soft, without being weak, still, without being passive. So in this fast-moving world, what if the most courageous thing you could do was to stop, sit, and say, I am doing enough, I am enough, and I will move forward wisely. Somewhere along the path of life, we were taught that strength must be loud, that to be resilient, we must be unshakable, that we must rise quickly, push through pain, and emerge untouched. But Buddhist wisdom shows us a different truth. Resilience is not the refusal to break. It's the courage to return, even after you've fallen. It's the silent strength found in each small, intentional step, not dramatic, not perfect, but deeply human. We often think of growth as grand, a complete transformation, a total shift, but most change is quiet. It happens in the spaces between, when you choose to breathe instead of react, when you return to your practice, even after weeks away, when you catch a moment of peace in the middle of chaos and hold it gently. This is the heart of wise resilience, to keep showing up, not with force, but with care. The Buddha taught that suffering is part of life, but so is awakening, so is freedom. And what brings us closer to that freedom isn't denial or escape, it's presence, it's learning to sit with what is uncomfortable without becoming overwhelmed by it. It's the soft reminder that even your hardest days can be held with compassion. We often wait for everything to be calm before we begin healing. But what if healing begins in the storm? What if resilience is built not after the struggle ends, but inside the struggle, in the moment you decide not to give up on yourself. One of the quiet teachings of Buddhism is that even a drop of water falling consistently can carve stone. Your practice, however small, however imperfect, is carving something too, a deeper peace, a more open heart, a wiser way of being. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you already are beneath the noise and trusting that your inner strength is not gone, only waiting to be uncovered. You may still fall, you may still doubt, but each time you return to the breath, each time you bring awareness to your pain, each time you choose kindness instead of judgment, you are walking the path, and that is more than enough. So take a moment, wherever you are now, close your eyes, place your hand gently over your heart, and say to yourself, I'm still here, I'm still walking, I'm still whole. Let this be your soft reminder. You don't have to move fast. You don't have to be perfect. You only have to return, again and again, with gentleness, because resilience isn't a destination. It's a relationship with yourself, with this moment, and with the ever-changing rhythm of life. And in that relationship, there is room for everything. Your sorrow, your strength, your stumbling, your grace, all of it belongs. As we near the end of this reflection, it's important to remember that the story of resilience is never truly finished. It's not a tale that concludes with a neat final answer, but a journey that continues unfolding. Each step forward is part of a larger process, a living, breathing practice. In Buddhism, the path is never about a single moment of triumph. It's about learning to walk through each moment with awareness, kindness, and wisdom. And sometimes this means understanding that resilience doesn't look like strength alone. It's not about refusing to feel pain or denying discomfort. True resilience is found in the way we hold our pain, the way we walk with it, the way we allow it to shape us without letting it break us. In your own life, you may face moments where the road seems long and uncertain. You may encounter struggles that feel unending, and at times you might doubt your ability to continue. But these moments, these struggles, are not signs of failure. They are simply parts of the journey. Each challenge is an invitation to practice, an opportunity to deepen your understanding of yourself, and a chance to cultivate the qualities of compassion, patience, and insight that the Buddha taught. The key to building lasting resilience lies not in pushing through in the way the world often demands, but in learning to be gentle with yourself when the going gets tough. It's in knowing that you are allowed to rest, to pause, to reflect, to give yourself permission to be human. Remember, the Buddha never promised that the path would be free of obstacles, but he did show us a way to navigate them with grace, with mindfulness, and with compassion. As you move forward in your own life, keep the middle way in your heart. Find the balance between effort and ease, between action and rest. When you feel overwhelmed, remember that resilience is not about pushing harder. It's about recognizing when to let go and trust that all will unfold as it should. This doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to control every outcome and instead trusting in the process. It means having the courage to take the next step, even if it's small, even if it's uncertain. It means honoring your journey, wherever it may lead. There's a simple yet profound practice in Buddhism known as the 5 remembrances, which reminds us that our lives are finite, our bodies are fragile, and change is inevitable. It asks us to reflect on the preciousness of each moment, to use the time we have wisely, and to cultivate qualities that will bring us peace in the face of suffering. The first of these remembrances is this: I am of the nature to grow old. I cannot avoid growing old. In a world that constantly emphasizes youth, strength, and perfection, can be hard to accept the inevitability of change, but in this acceptance lies the key to resilience. When we let go of the fear of impermanence, we stop fighting the natural rhythms of life. We stop resisting what is, and we begin to flow with it. This is not resignation. It is a deep acknowledgement of life as it is, flawed, uncertain, and ever-changing, and choosing to move through it with a heart that remains open, unafraid. So, as you walk your own path, remember, resilience is not about being invincible. It is about being present in your joy, in your sorrow, in your struggles, and in your triumphs. And know that with each moment, you show up with kindness and mindfulness. You are building something far greater than the absence of hardship. You are building a life filled with peace, wisdom, and quiet strength. And that is where true resilience lies. As we close, I offer you a simple question to reflect on. In the face of challenges, can you pause, take a breath, and trust that you are enough? Can you see yourself as the Buddha sees you, worthy of compassion, capable of wisdom, and worthy of peace? No matter the circumstances, the journey is never easy, but it is always worth it. And with each step, no matter how small, you are walking in the direction of freedom